on the scene who the Biden administration just appointed for control of the currency. Did anybody see that? She is a pure communist. This is no joke. She is a pure communist, kind of like the mayor of the city. So we are sick of the legislations being presented and passed that are immoral and wicked, that go against the core values of our great nation. The Attorney General, that's what the terms he used. He said all these parents are going against the core values of our nation. No, the parents are standing up for our core values of our nation. The immoral idea of civil government, that is the individual is regarded as valuable only if he could contribute something to the state. Okay? Why do you think our local governments allowed many of the elderly to die from COVID and then kill or injure many more with their vaccine? Because they're not productive to the state and they got to be kicked out of the state. This is very evil. They're very evil. They're not public servants anymore. They're called tyrants. That's what they are. They're little dictators, they're little tyrants. A tyrant is one who exercises unlawful authority. And yes, that is the little dictator here called Nuremberg. He's just another paid-off tyrant. And see, Nuremberg doesn't have the guts, or Wolf, they don't have the guts to come out here and say anything of what they believe, because they're little paid-off CCP tyrants. That's all they are. And I bet you they're probably going around saying, hey man, how do I learn Chinese, right? So listen to this. Let me tell you what God says to do about it. Now, how many Christians do I have here today? How many Christians? Okay. I'm going to tell you what God says about this. The Bible tells us in Acts 5:29, it says we must obey God rather than men. When a government ruler acts in a tyrannical way, he must be resisted. He must be. In Luke 10:11, Jesus tells his men to publicly protest if city officials deny their right to free speech. You know, I almost brought my Bible out today because nowhere in the Word of God, and if someone can show me, I'd like to come up after, nowhere in the Word of God that says Christians should bow to government. Nowhere. Nowhere ever in the Word of God. We resist tyranny. We stand up to tyranny. So Luke says, Jesus tells men, right, to publicly protest if city officials deny their right to free speech. Then remember that Jesus taught the use of force. Uh-oh. You mean Christians can have a use of force to resist tyranny? Yes. So Jesus taught the use of force in resisting tyranny was legitimate at certain times. He told his disciples that if they did not own a sword, to go buy two. Okay? So if you remember when Nuremberg and Pelosi and Dick Durbin and all the rest of them came to that garden that night to arrest Jesus, you know that all his men were armed. Yes, all his men were armed. So we must put God back in control. It's not in man. Look, Trump lost. They stole it. We know that. It's not in man. Does anybody know who Gideon is in the Bible? Okay? Gideon, let me tell you about Gideon. So Gideon was going to fight the Midianites, okay? So the Midianites, they had a huge army. So Gideon took about 30,000 of his men to go fight the Midianites, and God said, that's too many. I need you to drop it down. He dropped it down, I think it was 10,000. He dropped it all the way down to 300 men, okay? So when Gideon put his men together, 300 men, and they wiped out the Midianites, what happened was the men of Israel said to Gideon, they said this, hey Gideon, we want you to rule over us. In fact, when you die, we want your sons to rule over us. So what did Gideon tell the men? Gideon told the men, I will not rule over you, nor my sons will rule over you, only God will rule over you. Now listen, this thing can be turned around if we get our act together and put God back to rule over us. That's a fact. Because you can look in history, you can read the Bible. I know some of us just crack that thing open, man, once in a while. But here's what we got to do. The whole thing is over if we do not get God to rule over us again. The whole thing's done. What can man do? We had the best man in office. What They stole it. So what can men do? So this is what we can do today. Some of you are gonna laugh. That's why I'm up here. So find a church and back it. Okay, now listen. I'm not talking about a stinking lukewarm, sissified, woke church. I'm not talking about that. There's plenty of those in San Antonio. There's plenty of those in New Braunfels. There's plenty of those in Canyon Lake. I'm talking about a church that doesn't have a pastor as a coward, who will say it like it is. Some say, "Oh, Steve, we can't sprinkle politics into our sermons, and we can't say anything about politics in our sermons." That's garbage and straight from Satan, because I tell you what, during revolution times, where did the people get their information? They got it from American pulpits. So what you need to fill those American pulpits, you need to fill men of God that will say it, that not are in fear about their wage or in fear about their feelings or anything like that. So first thing, we got to find a church, support a church. I'm talking about, there's churches. There's churches out there that you support, because at the end, that's what's going to be standing. So, let's start there. And don't give me that garbage. Just listen, we have to start shaming the immorality in our country. And don't give me that garbage that you say, "Well, Steve, you know, your wrist is down." Don't tell me that you don't want to offend anybody. Are you guys offended enough at our immoral governments, local and federal? I'm offended. So you know what? Let's start shaming the evil. Let's start shaming the immorality. Let's start offending them. If we do not put God back in the lead, you and I will be speaking Chinese within the near future. No man can heal our nation, only God can. Now I'm going to say one more little verse in the Bible. I know some of you are cringing out there, but God bless you. 2 Chronicles 7:14. It says, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land." So God says right there, He will heal our land. But people, we got to not worry so much about our material things and what's going to happen to us. Oh, we may lose our jobs. Big sticking deal. I lost my job. God found me another one. Yeah. So big deal. So it's up to us. Do we really want to fight? Do we really want to fight?
Absolutely.
Or do we want to play armchair quarterback sitting in our living rooms doing nothing but talk? Listen, let me just say this, I'm done. The Republican Party is dead. The Republican Party is dead. It's dead. Because you know what? You go to our county, you go to Camel County, that's like going to a 1949 library. Nothing's happening, people. Why? Because there's no God involved in it. We have to get God back involved in this thing. God bless you.
What's your name? Nobody knows your name.
We're here at the Alamo Plaza. Of course, we saw Texas Freedom Force out here. They're doing their speech. Then we got the Alamo. Oh, look. Everyone remembers Owens, right? There's Owens right behind me. Say hi, Owens. Everyone's watching.
Hi.
No, you don't want to say hi? You want to say hi? Look. See?
Representing.
See? It's not hard, Owens. Just say hi. Camera's not going to hurt.
Maybe he speaks Spanish.
Hola, Owens. You say hi-oh to the camera, oh. Right there, oh. Pretty close, right? Pretty close. Learning my Spanish. Learning my Spanish. But yeah, this is Officer Owens with Park Ranger. Don't know who this guy is.
Call him the gentle giant.
Hello.
See you, man. Yeah.
So of course Owens has nothing to say.
Million views on Facebook. We got Owens himself, the superstar. We're the paparazzi. That strut. He always has that strut right there.
Yeah. So basically we came out here today and check things out. We got Texas. This is Texas Freedom Force protesting. Of course, they're allowing it. Of course, they're gonna allow it. They're allowing it. They haven't said anything. Haven't said much. Actually, they're pretending they're not even there, like they don't exist. But when someone like this guy, skin of color, or myself, I mean, even if we even think about walking over here, they're already calling back up and getting.
When I showed up, this guy, the Jolly Giant over here, I got him on video. He says, "The breakdancer's here." He targeted me and he was like, "You're not gonna notice this big old rally? I thought this was private.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. That's what my video said.